The city throbbed with neon dreams and humming engines. Leah Alvarez hurried through puddle-lit lanes, her sketchbook clutched to her chest, heart pounding with anticipation and worry. Midnight in the city meant anonymity, perfect for blending in, for being unseen, for a girl whose art was a secret. She was running late. Who best friend Jada always teased. Only you would get inspiration from spicy noodles at midnight. Leah smiled at the memory as the food market's lights came into view. Lanterns bobbed overhead, casting gold and scarlet hues on the crowd. The air shimmered with laughter and the sweet burn of chili oil. Balancing her paper tray, Leah squeezed onto the end of a crowded bench. Her gaze wandered, imagining murals blooming across the cracked walls. Lost in thought, she didn't notice the gentle tap on her shoulder. "Excuse me, is this seat taken?" The voice was smooth, unfamiliar, a little hesitant. Leah glanced up into sharp gray eyes and a hesitant smile. His tailored coat, rain-damp, suggested care, but not arrogance. "No, it's free," she replied, sliding over as her noodles threatened to slip off her lap. He sat, surveying the market. The awkward silence was brief, cut by Leah's nervous laugh. "First time at this circus?" The stranger grinned. "Guilty. Just got back from Paris a week ago. I'm Aiden, by the way." "Welcome back, Aiden. I'm Leah. Warning. Everything here is a little spicy and a lot weird." He pointed to her sketchbook. "Are you an artist?" Leah nearly dropped her chopsticks. Sort of. I draw things, sometimes. Mostly for myself." Before Aiden could press further, a sudden downpour sent the market into chaos, vendors scrambling to save their wares. They laughed, ducking under the awning. In the cramped space, their shoulders touched, unnoticed yet unforgettable. Aiden peered out at the glowing puddles. "This city? Never dull, is it? Feels like anything could happen." Leah, cheeks flushed, answered softly, "Sometimes I hope it does." And as the rain fell and the lights shimmered, an unspoken possibility began to bloom between them. The night hadn't let go of its fever, and the heart of the city pulsed harder as Leah and Aiden drifted from the awning. Plastic forks in their hands, trading stories beneath strung-up lanterns. Aiden gestured at the sketchbook tucked under Leah's jacket, a mischievous smile on his lips. "So, you only draw for yourself, huh? Are you sure the city wouldn't love your work?" Leah rolled her eyes, trying to hide a blush. "I'm sure. People want perfect art here, not messy sidewalk dreams. Besides, I never know where to start." He leaned closer, lowering his voice. Nothing in Paris was perfect. The best places were always a little broken around the edges. Leah found herself laughing, feeling lighter than she had in months. As they rounded a corner, Aiden gestured upward. "Look at that wall above the bakery. It's begging for color. Someone ought to paint something there." He eyed her meaningfully. "Ever consider murals?" She hesitated. "I dream about it. But I don't know anyone, no connections. Not like you, an architect." Aiden's expression softened, hinting at something unspoken. "Let's change that. What if we work together? A real project. Not someday. Right now." Leah faltered, half amused, half terrified. "And what makes you think anyone would let us?" The challenge lit something in his eyes. "There's a grant for community projects. The city's looking for teams. I could pitch it with you. We'll make a story big enough to catch their eye." Leah let the idea hang in the air, tasting both fear and the start of daring hope. At that moment, Jada barged in with two friends in tow. eyes widening as she saw Leah's new companion. "Leah, who's your friend?" Leah's cheeks warmed, but she couldn't help smiling. "Jada, this is Aiden. He's new." Aiden grinned, offering a hand, and hopefully not easily scared off. Jada smirked, shooting Leah a loaded look. Well, Leah does need someone brave to survive her world. Leah only shook her head, but couldn't stop the smile growing on her lips. As the group blended into the crowd, Leah glanced back at the muralist wall and imagined, for the first time, what she and Aiden could create. Tonight, the city felt less like a cage and more like a canvas. 2 days later, Leah paced her tiny apartment, her mind tangled with sketches and doubts. The city's grant deadline loomed like a dare she wasn't sure she could take. She stared at her phone, wondering if Aiden's idea had just been a charming suggestion, until his name lit up her screen. Aiden, City Hall, 6 p.m. Bring your best ideas. Teamwork, remember? Leah, and my sketchbook? Aiden, of course. That's the magic. Her heart skipped. Maybe this was real, after all. When the doors of City Hall swooshed open, Leah nearly faltered. Marble walls, distant voices echoing, and in the center, Aiden, leaning over maps and building plans, a grin lighting up his face when he spotted her. He waved her over, excitement crackling between them. "You made it! Okay, so they need this pitch by Monday. I pulled some strings, got us a late meeting." She sat stiffly at the long table, laying her sketchbook open to a riot of murals, city scenes, and color storms. Aiden slid a sight map toward her, the bakery wall from the food market. "Perfect spot. Everyone passes by. We combine my structure ideas with your art. Give people something to gather around." She exhaled. "You really believe we can get this?" He leaned in, voice low and earnest. "Yes, if you believe it too." Just then, a tall woman in a sharp suit strode in, a city arts representative. She eyed their paper-strewn plans and sketchbook, then gave Leah a quirked brow. "You're the artist?" Leah straightened. "Yes, ma'am." The woman's gaze softened, as if she saw something in Leah she recognized. "The competition is fierce. Why you?" Leah hesitated, then met her gaze. "Because every wall in this city deserves a story. And maybe if people see beauty here, they'll see it in each other too." A stunned silence, then the slightest smile from the official. "That's what I was hoping to hear." After she left, Leah and Aiden slumped in relief, exchanged a look that was all nerves and spark. Aiden nudged her hand, his voice a gentle promise. "Win or lose, Leah, I'm in. We make art anyway." She looked at him, and in that moment, their partnership felt real. Maybe, just maybe, a lot more than that. The following days blurred into a whirl of caffeine, color, and late-night texts. Leah barely slept, but excitement kept her going. Each afternoon, she met Aiden at his co-working studio, transforming his blueprints with her wild sketches and splashes of paint on tracing paper. One evening, Aiden handed her a cup of coffee and grinned. "You do realize you've drawn the same hummingbird on every design, right?" Leah blushed, defensive but amused. "It's a symbol, small, fierce, and it doesn't ask permission to be bright." He considered this, thoughtful. "I like it. It suits you." They worked side by side, learning each other's quirks. Aiden obsessively measured and remeasured, while Leah got paint everywhere. At one point, she giggled as she splattered Aiden's sleeve with turquoise streaks. "Looks good on you." He pretended to frown. I suppose that's the risk of getting close to an artist. And that's the risk I take with architects. They never let anything be crooked. Their playful banter hid the nerves. Leah's doubts sometimes echoed loudly. Was she enough? Was her art really worthy of the city's gaze? Midway through a sketch, Aiden looked up, his voice gentle. What are you really afraid of? She hesitated, caught off guard. That it'll never be more than a dream. That I'll stay invisible even as I paint. Aiden reached out, his hand steady on hers. I see you, Leah. The city will too. That's a promise. Before she could respond, Leah's phone vibrated. A message from Jada. Jada. Be careful, Leah. Don't let him break your heart. Leah hesitated, thumb hovering over a reply. Uncertainty prickled beneath her skin. But when she looked up, Aiden's earnest eyes met hers, and for tonight, hope outshone every fear. The week of the pitch arrived quickly, pressure mounting as if the city itself were watching. Leah and Aiden pored over their final designs at his apartment, rain tracing lazy rivers down the wide windows. Leah's nerves buzzed in her chest. Aiden tried to reassure her. You're ready, Leah. We're ready. She nodded, biting her lip. What if they say no? He smiled softly and brushed a curl behind her ear. Then we show them anyway. Or we find another wall. They rehearsed their presentation over lukewarm pizza. Leah stumbled at first, her hands trembling. But Aiden steadied her, guiding her with encouraging nods. Tell them about the hummingbird. Tell them about why you paint. The next morning, City Hall echoed with anticipation. Leah clutched her portfolio, while Aiden's steady presence anchored her. Inside the presentation room, a panel of stony-faced judges waited. Leah tried not to notice her biggest critic among them, a famous muralist she'd admired as a teen, Mr. Greer. Aiden kicked things off. Our city is built with walls, but those walls should invite people in. That's why we believe in this mural and in Leah's art. He let her take center stage. Leah's voice was small at first. I paint hummingbirds because they're tiny but brave. They survive storms. I've always felt a little like that. Greer's gaze was intense. And what does the mural mean to you? Leah swallowed, then let her passion crack through her nerves. It means hope. It means belonging, even for the quiet ones who blend in. I want everyone to see themselves in color here, no matter who they are. The room went quiet, electrified by her honesty. Aiden's pride was obvious. As the panel conferred, Aiden squeezed her hand under the table. No matter what, Leah, he whispered, you've already changed something. Outside, the city lights flickered on, and Leah realized, for the first time, she wanted more than just her dream. She wanted to share it, and she wanted Aiden beside her when she did. Waiting for the city's answer took days that stretched endlessly. Leah painted nervously on spare scraps at home, unable to settle. Aiden texted reassuring messages, but his own anxiety slipped through in late-night calls, filled with half-joking, half-serious pep talks. One evening, as the city's dusk blended gold and steel, Leah's phone buzzed. Her hands shook when she saw Aiden's name. Aiden, I got the email. Nova Bakery, 7 p.m. Be there, trust me. Nerves prickling. Leah arrived to see the bakery's windows glowing, and the market bustling nearby. Aiden stood beneath the blank wall, a nervous excitement radiating from him. He took her hand gently. Before she could ask, the city arts official from the interview emerged, waving a letter, and the bakery owner followed, grinning broadly. "Congratulations," the official beamed. "Your proposal won. The mural's yours." Leah's knees nearly buckled. Aiden squeezed her hand tighter, laughing. "You did it, Leah!" She shook her head, overwhelmed. "We did." Friends and strangers from the market gathered, clapping and cheering as the announcement was made. Jada pushed through the crowd, hugging Leah fiercely. "See, I told you, you were never meant to stay invisible." The bakery owner shared stories of the neighborhood's history, and Leah listened in awe, sketching ideas on napkins as inspiration struck. Aiden watched her, proud and quietly hopeful. Finally, as the excitement waned and the market lights twinkled above them, Leah and Aiden lingered beneath the soon-to-be transformed wall. "So," Aiden murmured, sliding his hand into hers, "ready to show the city who you are?" Leah smiled, her fears lifting. "Only if you're painting it with me." In that moment, with their future stretching out under the city lights, their partnership felt unstoppable. And maybe, just maybe, so did Leah. The days after their victory felt like a dream. Leah's social media exploded with offers and congratulations, but her heart stayed grounded on the mural's blank wall. Every sunrise brought new sketches, color swatches, and meetings with Aiden and the bakery owner, Mrs. Puri, who always arrived with trays of fresh pastries and stories of the neighborhood's vibrant past. One afternoon, as they planned logistics, a group of local teens hung around. Curious about the artists marking blue tape on the brick, Aiden called out, "Want to help?" Their shy excitement filled Leah with warmth. Paint day finally arrived. The market buzzed extra bright, neighbors leaning out of windows, kids tugging at their parents to see what was happening. Leah donned a paint-splattered hoodie, nerves writhing beneath her calm. Jada and the teens prepped paint trays, while Aiden set up scaffolding, whistling a Parisian tune. As Leah stepped onto the scaffold, she paused. The street seemed to hush in anticipation. Brush in hand, she turned to Aiden below. "Are you really sure about this? It's so public." Aiden offered a soft, encouraging smile. "You once said you wanted to be seen. Now's your chance. I'll catch you if you fall, even from way down here." That broke the tension. Leah dipped her brush and began. The first sweep of color was electric, wild. Soon, images of hummingbirds, city skylines, and faces from the neighborhood cascaded across the brick, coalescing into something alive. Laughter and music filled the air as volunteers joined in, splattering color everywhere. Jada snapped pictures, while Mrs. Puri handed out sweets to everyone. Leah even spotted Mr. Greer, the famous muralist from the panel, quietly watching from a distance. Their eyes met, and he offered a tiny approving nod. As sunset painted everything in golden light, Aiden climbed up to help with the higher details. Side by side, hands stained in every shade, they painted each stroke with hope, courage, and a little bit of love. Exhausted but euphoric, Leah leaned against the wall beside Aiden. "It's happening," she whispered, as the artwork radiated beneath the city lights. Aiden wrapped an arm around her shoulders. "You're changing the city, Leah. And maybe you're changing me, too." As the mural blossomed day by day, so did the connection between Leah and Aiden. They shared jokes, paint, and whispered secrets among the humming of brushes and the bakery's morning scents. Yet, as their artwork neared completion, storms gathered outside the bright cocoon they'd created. Leah noticed that Aiden grew quieter after phone calls that finished in hushed tones and frowns. He dodged her questions with half-hearted smiles. The weight of something unspoken pressed between them, and soon it chased Leah into her own doubts again. One rain-spattered evening, Leah caught Aiden lingering by the mural, staring up at the moving city skyline. She approached softly. "Is everything all right?" He hesitated, thumb tracing a groove in the scaffolding. "My firm wants me to consider a project in Tokyo. It would mean leaving soon, maybe for months." Leah's heart lurched. Her voice trembled. "You didn't want to tell me?" "I didn't know how," Aiden admitted. "You in this place, it feels like home for the first time in years. But my career, it's always moving." He looked at her, searching. "I don't want this to end. Us." Leah glanced at their mural, a hopeful riot of color, and remembered all they'd built together. "Or if you need to fly somewhere new." Rain pooled around their feet. Leah stepped closer, voice gentle but brave. "I won't let what we started vanish. Even if you go, I'll keep creating and waiting if you'll return. But I won't shrink myself again for anyone's shadow, not even yours." Aiden gathered her hands in his, haunted and hopeful all at once. "I never wanted to be the reason you stopped shining. I just need to figure out who I am, beside you, not in the way." As thunder rolled above and city lights flickered, Leah kissed his cheek, tears in her eyes, both of them lit by possibility and fear. Tomorrow, they would face what came next. Tonight, they stood together beneath their painted sky, hearts heavy with choices yet to be made. City's heartbeat echoed Leah's own as mural day dawned, the day their work would be unveiled to the world. Yet, beneath the celebration, Leah's heart thudded with unease. Aiden's decision about Tokyo still hovered, unspoken, between every smile and shared brushstroke. Crowds gathered, filling the street with anticipation. News crews circled, children darted under bunting, and Mrs. Puri handed out pastries beneath the sunlit shimmer. Leah watched the faces, neighbors, friends. And even Mr. Greer, who now offered her advice like an old mentor. Aiden found Leah in the crowd, his hand brushing hers. "You ready?" She forced a brave smile. "Ready as I'll ever be." On stage, Leah spoke about hope and hummingbirds, about a city connected by art and the courage to be seen. Her words were shaky but real, capturing hearts. She caught Aiden's gaze, saw the way he watched her with pride and sorrow. The moment the mural was revealed, cheers erupted, colors swirled. Vivid wings, hovering over the city's stories, faces of old and young, a bridge between dreams and reality. After the ceremony, Leah found Aiden quietly packing up brushes. "You're leaving," she said quietly, almost a question, almost an accusation. He nodded, pain in his eyes. "The Tokyo team, they want me tomorrow. I can't walk away from the offer. But Leah, I don't want to leave us behind." A hush settled between them, a crossroads neither could postpone. Leah swallowed. Voice trembling but sure. "Aiden, you have to go. But I won't put my life on pause. I'll keep painting, keep growing. I want you back for us, Not because I waited in the shadows. He stepped close, searching her face. What if I lose you? Leah shook her head, tears bright but undeterred. Then you never really had me. But you do now, so make it count. He kissed her deeply, every hope and regret lingering in the touch. I'll come back, Leah, I promise. As their friends called for photos, Leah and Aiden stood side by side before their mural. Their story, like the city, was unfinished, an expanse of color and longing. And as the day faded to twilight, the future unfurled with more possibilities than painful goodbyes. A year slipped by, marked by seasons painting Leah's life in new shades. With Aiden gone, she navigated the city on her own terms, running workshops for neighborhood kids, sparking beauty on abandoned walls, and nurturing the mural that had become a community beacon. Every corner of her world grew brighter, but her heart always skipped at the thought of a message from Tokyo. Aiden sent postcards and long late-night calls, sometimes laughter, sometimes longing tangled in their voices. He told her about skylines and cherry blossoms. She told him about new wings painted over damaged brick. I'm always with you, he'd promise, even from thousands of miles away. On the mural's anniversary, Leah returned to the bakery, heart fluttering with both pride and a heightened ache. The block was alive with color and music, faces old and new glowing beneath the finished hummingbird. More vibrant for the new feathers Leah had added since Aiden left. She stood back, studying her work when a voice, soft and achingly familiar, broke her reverie. You missed a spot. Leah turned. There he was, a little more world-worn, a little more certain, suitcase at his feet and hope in his eyes. No flights to catch, she teased, blinking fast against tears. Aiden smiled, closing the distance. Not anymore. I'm home, if you'll still have me. For a long, suspended moment, the city's cacophony softened as Leah reached for his paint-stained hand. She didn't need to ask if he'd come back for her, for them. She could see it in his eyes, in the way he looked at the world now. Grounded, daring, open. I never stopped painting, she whispered. But I'd like you to help me fill in the spaces. Aiden leaned in, brushing his lips against hers. Gentle, grateful, no rush. Around them, the market crowd cheered, as if recognizing the mural was no longer just Leah's story or Aiden's dream, but a promise woven into the city itself. As dusk settled and lanterns glowed overhead, Leah and Aiden stood hand in hand, hearts full, their future luminous. Together, beneath the city lights, they'd learned to create, to love, and to keep reaching for possibility, one brushstroke at a time.